Hello, hello. Today we are just going to do this fun little nail. Someone in the comments had said, oh, this would look cool as an apple nail. And so I was like, you know what? I want to see if I could do something like that. Because I wanted to see if we could still get the water droplets to read well if we had a color over it. So I wanted to see how many layers we could do because we still need that fine silver or something, mag particle gel to get these droplets to read. I'm using some of the Nico fruit gel set because it's literally made for nails like this. So let's get started and let's just do this fun little apple nail. I'm going to call it the Dewy apple nail. What do you think about that? Okay, I am starting out with a clear nail and we are going to go in with the number 15 from the Juicy Palette set. And this is just the bright jelly red. Also, I should say, if you buy this set, there's a whole little recipe book that tells you the polishes to use for different fruits. I'm not sure if I was following what they have in there for an apple because I didn't really look. I was just grabbing colors. But if you're stuck, there is a whole little thing to suggest stuff for you because there's like peaches and all kinds of stuff in there. Okay, and that's about the coverage you get in a single coat. And now we're going to go in with the yogurt nail from the Bubble Mag 2 collection. Number 73, it's sort of the more pinky red toned, but still with the very fine silver particles. And we are just going to do a solid coat. And I should say we did a full cure on that red first before we did this. So on this first one, we just want as wide of a activation of the mag particles as we can get to brighten up the nail. And then we're just going to cure that and then immediately go in with a second coat. And on the second coat, I'm aiming for more of that center rolling highlight ball kind of feel to it. And then as soon as you like what it's doing, pop that sucker in the lamp so that the particles don't start falling. Okay, now this is the fun layer. So this set comes with two different fiber gels, and this is the pink one. And sometimes, stuff with texture, it can feel gross. This stuff, I love this stuff. It literally, because of the little flocking fibers in it, it feels like you are spreading jam on the nail. So have fun with that. It's a lot of fun to use. And even though it has those fibers in it, it levels really nicely. So you don't really, it's fun when you're brushing it on because it has a nice, weird, slightly thicker thing to it, but it self-levels super quick. And there we have it, with the little fibers in it. Now's the fun part. Now we are just appling up this nail. So we're going back in with the same Nico gel we did as the base coat. And I am kind of just doing sloppy 2/3 up the nail. And then I'm going to go in with the O2, which is sort of the creamy yellow, banana-y yellow color. And again, just kind of do some sloppy brush strokes in there, streaking it down into the red. And you can always just put this out on a palette and then use a separate brush so that you're not gunking up and sullying the brushes in the other color. Sometimes I don't like doing it. Other days I don't care. So now I think I care on the green. So here, now I'm going in with a paintbrush and grabbing it. That is the 05, the bright limey green from the same fruit palette. Or Juicy Palette, I think is the name. And again, I'm just kind of getting some variety in the streakiness for the apple. Now I'm going to go in with the even deeper red from the set. I believe this is the 04. And I'm just going to sort of round out the bottom with it and then do a little on the top. And then in a second here, I'm going to put way too much on the top edge and then basically spend the rest of the time trying to fix that. Because, that just happens sometimes. What are you going to do? Here I go. Look at that. Oh, way too much on that tiny brush. I had a really nice sort of streaky apple-ish gradation kind of coming down from the top. And now I'm hoping here I can just blend it out. But I'd have to go back in with more of the green and more of the yellow. I have to add a few more yellow stripes to get back my streakiness, because also the longer you are working at this, it does start to blend together because these are nice syrup gels. So there we have it. Now that is our apple. Okay, now for the final 2 steps of adding our dewdrops. We just need either the D-gel Toktok gel or just the base coat of a poke gel. They do the same thing. And the important thing to remember about this coat is this is our top coat. So make sure you are getting a nice smooth look to it that you want for the surface of the nail, because the only thing that is going on top of this are the little tiny dots. And once you have what you like with either the Toktok or the poke gel base, we want to cure that for 60 seconds. Okay, time for our final step, adding the dewdrops. I'm using this just Macart top coat. I wanted to try it out. I hadn't tried it before because I'm always looking for different viscosities in the top coats because they're good for different things. And this turns out to be a good thin one. So you want a very thin top coat for this step. And I want you to see how much I'm basically wiping everything off of that brush. You don't want to paint a layer on. You are literally wiping that brush clean and then just stabbing at it. That's how you're going to get the best chance of getting lots of little dewdrops. And I know on the Toktok gel from D-Gel, the instructions say that you can just wipe it off with alcohol and do it again until you like it. I have found when I wipe it off with alcohol, I really don't get as good of a beading effect if I've used alcohol. So just keep that in mind. I would rather just kind of keep reworking what gel I have on the nail than wipe it all off and start over, and maybe just try to swipe some off with a little towel if you need to remove some. I just wouldn't go for the alcohol move right away. I will say the longer you mess with it, the more the top coat's going to continue to bead up, and you're going to eventually get very even circles that don't look quite as natural, or maybe you like that look, whatever. But just so you know, when you get something you like, you should get it in the lamp and cure it. And what I'm doing here, I just wanted to show this again. If you want it to look more like drops that are falling, you can go back in with a toothpick or some pointy thing and just scrape up on the dot so you get that sort of, raindrop effect. And like what I was doing there, it felt too even. And so I'm just going back in and re-stabbing away at it and just waiting to see until I kind of like what it's doing. And then I'm going to stick that in the lamp right away. And you're not just stuck with what it's doing. If you want a few larger drops, you can go in and, select a few things to plop a little bit more top coat on. So there is a lot of messing around you can do to customize this, but it's just nice that you can get a huge amount of teeny, teeny, tiny little water droplets on there in a pattern that is hard to do by hand, and it's quick, and you can mess with it quickly and change it quickly. So there are other methods to do this. This is just sort of a nice quick way to experiment and kind of see what you like instead of doing all of the tedious work. And there's our cute little dewy red apple nail. Now there's lots of different ways you could do this. Much more streaky. You could really leave some yellow, green blotches. There's just a huge variety in what you can do. And you can see here, I had this great idea of let's put a little green inchworm on it. It would be adorable. And literally everything I did, it looked like a tapeworm. So I decided not to give you guys a tapeworm nail. And man, it looked like a smashed tapeworm. Just nothing. It wasn't working. It was so fussy. And I was like, I'm going to add 5 hours onto this process. And so I decided not to. And then also while doing it, I realized, oh yeah, we used the Toktok gel on it, which means it's a top coat that nothing wants to stick to, which is why the other top coat beads up on it and gives us the dewdrops. And so then also my stupid smashed tapeworm wasn't even sticking to the nail. It was sticking to everything but the nail, which was smashing it even more. So yes, if you would like to attempt to do that, you can. I don't know if glue, the top coat sticks to the other top coat. So I don't know if you could glue something on there and it would work or not. I did not have time to experiment more with it, but you could try to do a cute little green inchworm because it would be adorable. Here, you want to see the moment I gave up? Here we go. Yep, screw it. You're on your own. All right. let's just look at the pretty finished nails. So there we go. There's just a little variety of ones I was doing all along the way. Oh yeah, I guess I should mention the Nico gel and yogurt gel. Those can all be found on Sweetie Nail Supply, and I do have a 10% off coupon code for that, which is Sparkle10. And everything I'm using, I always list in the description of the video, so just click on more and you can see it. All right, thanks for watching, and good luck with your Dewy Apple tapeworm nail.